It's the Disneyland with Kids podcast, bringing you travel tips, park tidbits, and the best Southern California travel deals.
Welcome to the Disneyland with Kids podcast. I'm Jessica from the happiest blog on earth.
And I'm Becca with this crazy adventure called life.
Today, we're going to be talking about one of the headlining attractions at Disneyland Resort. And headlining because you can see it from almost anywhere. We're talking about Matterhorn bobsleds, which is officially part of Fantasyland. Becca, Matterhorn, yes or no?
I'm going to tell you what my husband says. If your back feels great, avoid it. If your back is kind of out of whack, then ride it and you can, forgo the chiropractor.
There's many things that people say about Matterhorn and for so many reasons, but I did want to dig into a little bit of Matterhorn history, a little bit of Matterhorn facts. So I have a few facts that I want to share, and this is from DisneyList.com. Now, one of the things that we know, and it's been talked about so many times on multiple platforms, is that Matterhorn bobsleds was the first roller coaster in the world to use tubular steel track. And we hear this all the time, but honestly, I guess I kind of know what that means. And do we care? I don't know.
No, we don't care.
The Imagineers, yes, absolutely, right? Bob Gurr and team, right? They're incredible. And at the time, this was a huge deal. But that is part of the reason why it is so jerky and it does what it does. Now, they use the same track on an attraction in Walt Disney World. Do you know what it is?
Space Mountain.
Yes, Space Mountain. So Space Mountain at Walt Disney World is going to have that same kind of feel as Matterhorn, which leads to kind of some disappointment for people who are used to our Space Mountain at Disneyland and then go over to World. What did you think? Did you ride Space when we went to World?
No, because it makes me sick.
Okay,
so the motion sickness.
The audio or the visual effects anyways.
Yeah, the visual effects make me sick. And I knew that not only is the track like the Matterhorn, but so are the seats. The cars.
That's
They're
right.
The
Because you're
two
single.
attached and single rider. But no, I did not ride it. But I just went again in April, and our friend Amanda from Provost Park Pass and Kim from Getaway Today rode it. And they were just like, I keep forgetting how much it's like the Matterhorn. So I was very glad I did not indulge on that one.
It's almost one of the things that you do have to forget and ride again. But let's get back to our Matterhorn at Disneyland. I'm going to tell you a few other facts about the Matterhorn, again, from DisneyList.com. So scale and color were a key component to the landscaping of the Matterhorn, and they were recreated at a scale of 1/100th of the real Matterhorn, which is 14,700 feet tall. Do you remember seeing people scale the Matterhorn at Disneyland? Because that happened in the past.
I don't personally remember it, but obviously I've seen pictures and stuff from it, and I really wish they'd do it again once in a while.
That would be so cool. Even for throwback nights or special events that they do, I think that would be amazing.
It would.
And I can't remember if I've seen it or if it's one of those false memories. I don't even know the actual dates of when they did that, but I've seen so many pictures. I'm like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing, I don't know if Disney List had mentioned this, but this is kind of a common Disneyland secret that people always throw out there, is that there's a basketball court at the top of Matterhorn.
It's a half basketball court. It's not a full court. Whatever. Make use of the space, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like, my son hangs a hoop on the back of his door in his bedroom, so he has a basketball court in his bedroom. So not exactly true, but still something fun to think about. And I believe it was for those who scaled the mountain to have something to do while they were hanging out up there, which is pretty fun to just kind of hear about little inner workings of Disneyland Resort. Okay, so with Matterhorn and Disneyland with kids, do we take our kids on Matterhorn? What age is kind of appropriate? There are some scary elements to the Matterhorn. What do you think?
It's totally going to depend on your kid. First off, the height requirement. Do you have it right there in front of you? I want to
No.
say it's 42 inches, and I'm pretty sure it is, but I could be wrong. No, it is. It's 42 inches. So it does have a height requirement of 42 inches. So right there, that's higher than most those. There's that big
Mhm.
40-inch height requirement, right? So it's a little bit taller than that. Your kid is going to need to feel comfortable sitting on a roller coaster by themselves, basically, since
Great
it
point.
is single file and it's really hard to wrap your hands around the seat in front of you and be
Really
able to do
hard.
that. Other than that, I mean, my oldest loved it from as soon as he could write it. And I think I'm trying to remember if he was able to write it pre-closure. I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, because he wrote Indiana Jones pre-closure. So he was probably around 8 or 9 when he first started writing it, and he loved it. But he has become a thrill ride enthusiast, so I think that works. But I think if your kids really like Space Mountain, Thunder
Mhm.
Mountain, those type of rides, that they'll enjoy this one. There's no loops, which is good.
Right.
We do have our friend, the Yeti, living in
Yes.
there, and he is actually a little scary looking.
He's scary. I'm like, "No, he's scary." He's named Harold. That's what most people call him. So, if you're wanting to take your kid on Matterhorn, maybe talk to them about Harold and give him a name. Sometimes that helps, but he does pop out and scare you, and it's loud, especially if you're riding it at night. So I mean, it's not especially loud when you're riding at night, but it's dark, it's scarier at night.
Yeah,
So, if you're trying it for the first time, do it during the day.
definitely. And let's talk about the track options too.
Yes.
Do you go right or do you go left? Do you go the
Okay, so
Fantasyland side or
yeah,
the
so
Tomorrowland
people
side?
talk about it as there's 2 tracks, there's 2 experiences, one's better, one's worse, and we've got Fantasyland side and we've got Tomorrowland side. So, if you gotta help me through this because I was thinking about this. I know which one I prefer. It is the one where I exit on Fantasyland side. So, do I enter on Tomorrowland or Fantasyland side? That's what I couldn't figure out.
So this is where it's confusing because there used
Yeah.
to be 2 different entrances to the ride, like 2 lines,
Yes,
right?
yes,
You'd
yes.
line up
Now
on
it's
each
not.
side
So
depending on
they
which one
split
you wanted.
you. Okay.
But now it's split, and I am going to fully disclose I could be remembering this wrong, but if I remember correctly, it's the same side as you go to the same side when it splits as where that track is. So left
Yeah.
is
Okay.
Tomorrowland, right is Fantasyland.
Okay.
And when you said one's better, one's worse, let's just remember that's also a matter of perspective. Do you want a
Totally.
smoother
No,
ride or do
yeah.
you want a rougher ride? So
Yeah.
someone's worse might be someone's better and vice
Right.
versa.
Yeah. So my better is Fantasyland side, but sometimes I have been where the cast members tell you
Mhm.
right then, go this side, go that side. And I'm like, yeah, but my neck and my back, they don't want to do Tomorrowland side. A few years ago, I did Tomorrowland side. And afterwards, I was like, I'm not writing this again. Like, oh, it's that time for me. I'm not writing this again. I've met my match. And then I waited a few years, and every other time since I have been on Fantasyland side, and I was like, I can roll with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say now the lines get really long for Matterhorn. It is the only no, it's not 'cause It's a Small World got
Mhm.
added. It's one of the only Fantasyland rides with that uses Genie Plus for a lightning lane.
Yeah.
And even that though can get quite long. So I was gonna say there is also single rider on that ride, but single rider, you will not get a say in which track you're going on because they're using you to fill empty seats. So just be aware of that there is no say. And I don't even
Mm.
remember if you get a say when you do lightning lane or not
I
to
don't know.
choose. I don't remember. I rarely ride the
Mhm.
ride just because it is a backbreaker. But just be aware of if you're using these methods for shortening your wait time, you may not get to choose at
Yeah.
all which track you end up on.
Speaking of, if you want to ride Matterhorn, if it's painful, if it's fun, we asked our Disneyland with Kids community to finish this sentence. Riding Matterhorn is like. Okay, so I'm going to pull out some of my favorites. And Becca, I think I sent you the link as well.
You did.
And I want you to pull out some of your favorites because there are a ton and they are gold. From Robin, riding Matterhorn is like living in a college dorm. It's dark, your back hurts, and there are weird noises coming from everywhere. Robin.
That's awesome.
I mean, how accurate is that?
That is so very accurate. Blair put how the people living inside of a snow globe must feel.
Yes. That is so true. I liked that one too. And Neil said, it's like I decided to dry my clothes in the dryer while still wearing them.
Yes, that's the one I was looking for.
You know, it's like, oh no. It's like when you put shoes in the dryer and you just hear them going around and around, and that's how it feels sometimes. And you just keep on going.
Yeah.
Chris also said 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu.
I love that.
Accurate.
Danielle was great. Seeing a chiropractor who failed every assignment and test.
Yeah, we don't want to see that chiropractor and avoid if his name is Harold. So definitely check those out in the Disneyland with Kids group. And speaking of Disneyland with Kids, we are over 40,000 strong, a community that answers your Disneyland questions 24/7. And we have exclusive discounts for Disneyland tickets, excellent rates on hotels through our partners at Getaway Today. You can go to Disneyland with Kids on Facebook and find all those discounts. But we even have a special link you can use just to go right now and grab those tickets. It's disneylandwithkids.info/book.
Yes, I love it. And of course, if you're wanting to go to Disneyland and experience the Matterhorn because you're crazy, or maybe you want to experience the better options for your back, we do have exclusive ticket pricing only available to our community. So definitely check that out. So Jessica, really quick before we end, ask me if I've gotten a call from the Abominable Snowman yet.
Have you gotten a call from the Abominable Snowman yet? Snowman?
Not yetty.
You got me, girl. Becca's a pro at these. I don't know. Is it you or is it your husband that's the pro and you steal them, or he steals them?
I usually come up with them and then he steals them and tells them to everyone before I get a chance. So, but he does like looking up his own. So
that's a great one to tell the kids during the line, after the line. I love it. And then go get a treat when you're at California Adventure. I know it's from a different realm of Disney, but we do have the
Abominable Snowman
soft serve yellow.
It's lemon.
Lemon.
So.
All right, friends. Well, that's it for this episode of the Disneyland with Kids podcast, and we will see you real soon at Disneyland and inside the Disneyland with Kids Facebook group.